This is the Brous Blades Silent Soldier Flipper. This is I've had this knife now for I don't know, about 4 months now, and it's been my EDC for a while. It's a very well-made knife. I'm really impressed with it. I think it's got some great materials, great ergonomic features. It's just a fine knife altogether. It's a thick knife. It's pretty chunky. It's about a ½ inch thick. This one is actually the second generation. The first gen Silent Soldier Flipper had the pocket clip that wrapped around the pivot, kind of like a question mark. But I think Jason Brous caught enough flack for tip down carry where he made it a tip up carry. And also, I don't know if the camera can pick it up, but you can switch the pocket clip from right side to left side. So depending on, if you're like a law enforcement guy and you've got your pistol on the right side and you need to carry the knife on your left side, well, then you can do that by just simply moving the pocket clip over. So that's pretty cool that he was able to do that. But the one of the things you notice right away, like I said, it's a chunky knife. It's got a nice thick blade. It's a 3/16 blade. It's D2 steel. The scales on the handle are carbon fiber, and they've been contoured really nicely, so your hand fits in there very nicely. Let me flip this open. It's got a bearing system. That's a proprietary system that Jason Brous made for the pivot. It's got a solid lockup. And the nice thing I like too is the blade is beveled a little bit at the end of the blade, so that way if there is any travel that the lock's going to go, it's always going to retain a strong lock, because as you use it and as the steel wears itself down, it'll still be a nice strong lock. It's a very lightweight knife. It's I don't know if you can see that, but the liner is a stainless steel liner, and it's very skeletonized, okay, to save on the weight. Some people thought that this was titanium in the beginning, and he does make a titanium version that's a frame lock on one side and then the carbon fiber on the other. He also does an all blacked out version as well, but it is stainless steel, skeletonized stainless steel liner. The opening, if you try to open it like a typical flipper, it's not able to do that. You have to actually push down on it, and then it just snaps right out there. So you're probably wondering what's the deal with the big hole in the blade. Well, what that's for is when you hold it, I mean, you could hold it traditionally like this, but what it's for is to slip your index finger through and hold it like this. So it's a very ergonomic, probably the most ergonomic knife that I've ever held. I think it's just fits in your hand. It fills your hand beautifully, and then with the contours on the handle, really, your fingers feel real just comfortable. The jimping up here looks like it's really super aggressive and would just tear up your thumb, but it's actually very comfortable, and it provides a really solid grip on the back of that blade. The flipper tab acts as a blade guard for your middle finger, and the reason that this is here is so it's very difficult. The philosophy behind it is very difficult to disarm somebody when their index finger is sticking through the blade. So I mean, you could lose it like that, and boom, you're right back into grip. The other thing too is the blade kind of points downward instead of going straight out from the handle, and what that does is it provides that perfectly level, because my elbow is at 90 degrees and the tip of the blade is literally straight ahead. So that's kind of neat. When you're looking at it, this is very much a tactical self-defense type knife. Now, I'm a suburban guy. I use it to cut open boxes. I use it to, cut the plastic wrap off of a frozen pizza or something like that. I'm not going to be using it, in that regard. But it's just kind of reassuring to know that if I need it, I've got that. It's got a real nice swedge in the front here. It doesn't really serve any purpose. The blade is a Warncliffe style blade. It's about I think it's 2.1 inches of actual usable edge there. But it's just it's a badass knife. I mean, it's just a really good looking knife. And honestly, I mean, if someone were to see this, 2-inch spike protruding from your index finger, that's a pretty scary sight. It's almost like it almost becomes like an extension of your hand itself. It's just a very it's just got to be scary. Almost like Wolverine from the X-Men, with the adamantium claw. But it's a really great knife. I'm really happy with it. I'm going to continue to carry it, and it's a numbered set. I don't know if you can see, but this is 252 out of 500. You can see marked in there. But it's a really, really nice knife, and I think Jason Brous did a great job with this. And it's not a terribly expensive knife. I mean, this is you're getting semi custom type quality for under $300. So to get into that mid-tech level of knives, it's a good entry point. So it's pretty cool. It's a great knife. The Brous Blades Silent Soldier Flipper.